The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hello and welcome to Open 2.0. I am your host, Clary Carmen, and we've got a great show for you today. Today's segment focuses on the LGBTQ community and youth. To help us unpack this topic is Cornelius, the Youth Husbands Youth Engagement Specialist from the Center. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, pleasure to meet you. So what is the Center?
The center is a community center for LGBT folks. It started in 1983, and it came about during a time where where HIV and AIDS was really hitting the LGBT community, and so the community center was basically kind of came together through activism and people really trying to figure out how to combat the AIDS epidemic that was happening at that time.
Oh, I see. So what is like the main mission and goals this center is trying to convey?
So the center main goals, I guess, is to be inclusive to all people, including our allies. So it's we have like a lot of different programs that happen at the center, including art programs. We have different groups for all different ages. And it's really a place where the community come together and find a safe space just to be themselves.
Oh, that's quite nice. So you met a lot of LGBTQ youths before, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are these obstacles or struggles they usually tell you about when they go to your center?
So LGBT young people face a lot of the same obstacles as their non-LGBT counterparts. There are some other obstacles they face, like coming out, and also like maybe bullying at school, dealing with like family who's maybe not be so accepting, and even going into their communities and being themselves in their communities and stuff. That's why places like the center are so important because they provide an affirming and safe space for young people to be without worrying about like just like violence or harassment and stuff.
Ah, so in this center, how is it the LGBT community like in there?
Um, you mean how are they like?
Like like the atmosphere, do they welcome everybody, something like
Um,
that?
Yeah, the center is a very welcoming place. Like our youth program is open to all young people between the ages of 13 and 21. And it's a very like open atmosphere. Like we have different art programs, we have music programs, and it's a place where young people can come and just be themselves and find things uh, that they like and want to be involved in. We have like leadership programs, so there's a lot of stuff happening there all the time in an environment. It changes, like it can be like very like light and fun. We have dances and stuff, and then we have serious discussion groups where young people talk about issues that are important to them too. Um, so yeah, it's a lot of different energies that happen.
Oh, that's good. One thing I wanted to ask is, what does the LGBTQ stand for?
LGBTQ stands for gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, and queer or questioning, depending on like who you are. But there's a lot of different other identities, and so a lot of times you'll see like LGBTQ plus, and to make sure that we are including like everyone in the LGBT community.
I see. Can you tell us more about the like identities, pronouns?
Um, so, everyone has a pronoun. No matter if you're gay or straight or bi or trans, everybody has a pronoun. Everybody has an identity and stuff. So I would say that, like, it's just a part of who we are. And there's different identities. There's like male, female, gay, straight, bisexual, transgender, and stuff. And then you have like, you go into like gender also. So it's like just a really big thing. The one thing I do want to say about like identity, and especially like gender, pronoun, and even names, is that if you're unsure of somebody's like gender identity, it's okay to ask them. It's okay to be open about like you're like maybe not having the exact knowledge of it, and asking. Someone would rather you ask them and they tell you than you mispronoun them and stuff. So yeah.
And there is a month dedicated to this, correct?
Yes.
So what is exactly is like Pride Month?
So Pride Month is in June, and it's just like a celebration of the LGBT community and all their accomplishments over the year. It started off through Stonewall, which was a riot that happened in the East Village in June 29th, 1969, and that sparked this movement. And after the initial riot, which eventually turned into a march that started happening every year, eventually the whole month became Pride Month. But it really came out of a movement to spark change in the LGBT community.
Ah, that's a very interesting story of the whole how Pride Month became, a thing. What movements or fights are currently happening right now?
Um, there's a lot happening right now, especially with young people in the LGBT community. And you know, over the last 20 years, a lot of laws have been changed to allow LGBT folks to adopt and to get married and to join the military. And then we see that in like the last few years, that a lot of those laws that were passed and bills that were signed are coming up again and being questioned and being fought against. And so I think like one of the biggest things that I see out there is just like safety for trans and gender nonconforming young people in school. Even in the military, a few years ago, they stopped trans folks from joining the military and stuff. But the center, we have the Rise Out campaign, and it basically is just our way of supporting the community and making sure that these issues that are so important to our community are not just being falling by the wayside. So if you ever want to get involved, you can text Rise Out to 69866 and find out more information.
Oh, okay.
So during Pride Month, we have, the center itself has like their Pride events that happen throughout the month, and then we partner with other centers throughout like Manhattan and the Bronx and different places, and we go to different Pride festivals, and we do like outreach. I do a lot of outreach during that time, but we do have dances and different. Programs for like young people during that time, but we have those things all year round. Like we always have like we're open again Monday through Friday, so we always have like different events that happening. Even for Valentine's Day, we have a dance that's coming up, so we have a lot going on all the time.
Oh, that's sweet. Um, for the youth, can you give a bit more examples of the programs they do? Do they like draw or do they dance more or something?
So Center Youth have a lot of different programs that happen. So we have like an art group that happens every Friday, and we have a music group that happens on Tuesday. We also have a Pride chorus that sometimes travels to different parts of the country and have performed at like Broadway and stuff. So there's like a lot of different opportunities for young people to get connected to art. We also partner with different museums on different projects, including the Whitney. So there's like that portion, and then we have like our summer camp program, which happens every summer, and we take young people away for a week to a YMCA camp, and they get to just enjoy like archery and kayaking and do all those like really amazing summer camp program stuff. Um, we have like mentoring where we it's kind of like a big brother big sister program where we have older queer folks mentor younger queer folks. So there's a lot that like kind of happens there. I'm not even naming it all and stuff. And the cool thing about it is everything, once you're a member of Center Youth, everything is free. So we never ask young people to pay for anything. We provide like everything.
Oh, that's good. Do you have any advice for LGBTQ youths?
You know, it's okay to be yourself and to be who you are. And no matter what, you know, like I know that people come from different backgrounds and religions and walks of life and stuff, and sometimes they don't feel like who they are, right? As long as you're happy with yourself, then like you are doing a good job. And also like there's programs all around the city, and not just Manhattan but in the Bronx and stuff. If you need somebody to talk to, like there's places where you can find somebody who's going to be affirming and loving to talk to if you don't have that in your life. So reach out and stuff. We're living also in an age where like the internet is really big, and there's like a lot of social groups and ways for young people who might not be able to come to our center to be connected to other things that are happening. So.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions for LGBTQ youths who aren't in your center that they could, like any programs or activities they could do at their house?
Well, I would say so. There's this like really amazing Pride Center in the Bronx that's like really called Destination Tomorrow, and they offer different programming. So if Manhattan seems too far for you, there's like stuff in your backyard. Again, like you know, we live in a time of social media, and so there's ways to get connected through support groups and find supports on the internet. And I would say, like, if you have like a teacher or a friend, they don't necessarily have to be a part of the LGBT community, but if you trust them and you feel safe with them, maybe just having conversations with them is not really about like always like being like, oh, okay, like I need to have like this gay person. It's about I need to have a person that I trust, I can talk to, and I can confide in, and that is affirming and stuff. So as long as you can find someone in your life to be affirming and loving, you're doing a good job.
Oh, okay, that's good advice. Suggestion. Is there any way to contact your center?
Yes, you can actually find us on the web. We're at gaycenter.org, and if you go to our website, there's a link to like the youth program and all of our different events that are happening throughout the month and the week and stuff. So you can always find that information there.
Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure for you to be here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. We'd like to thank our guest, Cornelius, and the Center for joining us and you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed our show and catch us back on the next Open 2.0.